Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have the latest on Storm Eowyn, which is now looking likely to be an historic storm arriving through Thursday and Friday. We've seen it escalating significantly today. Amber warnings issued for many northern and western areas, and I do expect, as we head into Thursday, a red danger to life warning. Predict probably about 95% chance now that will be put into force, as we are looking at widely 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, perhaps up to 90 or even 100 miles per hour over some exposed coast and areas over the higher ground. Now again, 80, 90 miles per hour isn't unknown for parts of the north. However, the size of the wind field, that is something I've never seen before from the models. Normally we can see a small slither of 89, 90 mile per hour winds within a named storm, perhaps in a sting jet or something of that sort. But the wind field of this storm is huge, and I do think this will be a historic system, one of the strongest storms we've seen in many years, perhaps many decades. Again, I don't know the exact data on that, but this is the strongest storm I've ever seen from the models, and I've been looking at this for 5+ years. So yeah, really historic. Not seeing much in the media at it at the moment. Of course, a lot going on across the pond, of course, with winter storms over there, and of course the inauguration. So that's taking up a lot of the news at the moment, but I suspect come Thursday and Friday we're going to see the news flip to this system, as it is going to be one of the strongest storms, as I said, we've seen in many years, if not decades. Now, in this video, we are going to concentrate on this system. We're on this a bit later in the day, so not got as much time to look at every little bit of data we normally look at. So we'll concentrate on Storm Eowyn. We'll look at the latest live radar. We'll look at the latest weather warnings, of course, escalated significantly today. And we will focus on the biggest warnings because, of course, in traditional Met Office fashion, we have got massive number of warnings covering many different areas across many different time frames, so it's simply impossible to cover every single one. But we'll look at the most important ones, and then we'll have a look at both the UKV, ICON, and our pairs to just show you the cross-model consensus now in the intensity of this system. As I said, 80 miles per hour widely in the north, up to 90 for many areas, potentially even 100 miles per hour plus in a few spots. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, which do like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, it looks completely opposite to a named storm. It looks pretty mundane, not too much going on. A few showers around, and some of them are turning a bit wintry as we've got some cold air aloft. It's going to rain cold even through Storm Eowyn. And we are expecting a bit of snow associated with this system, but most of the time it is going to be the wind that is going to provide those significant impacts. Now this evening, when this around 10 PM, it's another chilly night. You can see where we got the lighter blues, temperatures down towards freezing, inversion taking place as the air aloft is chilly, but it's nothing crazy. So yeah, a bit of inversion taking place, and generally another cold winter day coming through on Thursday, and another frosty morning for many. However, that is all going to change, and it's all due to the massive temperature clash we've got across Northeast America at the moment. I said in yesterday's video, snow all the way down towards the Gulf of Mexico. Now the cold air is transitioning eastwards, and as it collides into the jet stream, at the moment, we are seeing it powering up, and we are seeing a very strong jet stream. I think I saw it over 400 miles per hour the jet stream is at the moment, so perhaps some of the fastest ever transatlantic flights in the next sort of 36 hours or so. So all travelling straight towards our shores, and in the little kink on the northern flank of the jet stream, we are seeing this big low pressure system develop, and that is Storm Eowyn, and that is heading straight our way through Thursday night and Friday. Now, to do with the weather warnings, we've got a Thursday warning here for wind from 7 AM until 6 PM. This is not actually for Storm Eowyn, but it's for some stronger winds through much of the day, as it is going to be reasonably gusty. Nothing crazy, but as the jet stream powers up, we of course are seeing Storm Eowyn, but we're just generally seeing lower pressure, tighter isobars. So just generally winds on average are going to be stronger. So we've got a yellow warning issued here, but really not expecting anything too major. It's going to come along with some heavy rain, and that's going to exacerbate those winds, so that's why I suspect this warning has been issued. But the main event is on Friday. Look at the extent of the warnings now. Even those southern and eastern areas which were without a warning have now got a warning issued. And yeah, we've got lots of warnings. So what we'll do is we'll cover the main amber warning for wind, and then we'll have a look at the rain and the snow warning. The yellow warning that's covering up and down the country pretty much everywhere, that is blanket 60, 70 mile per hour winds. Again, if you are covered by the yellow warning, do check that out for yourself. But I do want to concentrate on the other warnings that could have more severe impacts. So we've got this rain warning issued for parts of Wales and South West England for 9 hours here on Friday morning, so for heavy rain as it moves through. Again, we're not expecting significant amounts, but across a short period of time, an inch of rain, maybe 2 inches of rain, could cause some issues. So that's one to keep an eye on. As I said, there will be some snow on the leading edge of the system for about 9 hours there, 3 a.m. until midday, perhaps 2 to 5 centimetres, around 100 metres, so moderate elevation, 5 to 10 higher than that, maybe even 25 centimetres over the highest ground. So another classic transitional snow event, inland, over the higher ground, could see a good 6 to 12 hours of snow, so heavy snow, and then the strong winds do arrive. Remember, looking at these timings, the snow and the rain in the morning. If we look at the amber warning, you can see it does come into force in the morning, but it's much more concentrated and much more heavy in the afternoon, and that's where we are expecting the strongest winds. Lunchtime onwards, it's once the weather front clears through the morning, and we see the centre of the system pass through Scotland on the southern flank. That's where we're expecting the most severe winds. So you can see here, for 15 hours, we have an amber warning. 70 miles per hour widely inland, 70 to 80 in some areas, 80 to 90 along some exposed coasts, and perhaps even higher. There will be a slight reduction where the centre of the storm moves through across Northern Ireland and Western Scotland, but they will rapidly increase again. So it's such a severe system, we've almost got an eye to it. We do see that, that is just a feature of low pressure, but it's not normally distinct enough across the UK for it to actually be noticeable. It happens across 6 to 9 hours normally. In this case, it could happen in the matter of a few tens of minutes or of an hour. So yeah, could see very strong winds to nothing, back to very strong winds, similar to a hurricane. But again, not a hurricane, I will specify. This is a classic Atlantic low. Hurricane, of course, is a warm core system. This is a cold core. So yeah, not the same at all, but similar characteristics because of the intensity of this system. You can see it is, at the moment, high impact and low likelihood. So you can see all we need is that likelihood to increase and we will see a red warning. And I do suspect we will see a red warning because the likelihood is pretty much bang on now that we are going to see 80, 90 or 100 mile per hour winds. As we'll show you in a minute with some of the runs. Yeah, it is looking exceptional, I must say. As I said, the strongest storm I've seen in 5 years, and I think the strongest storm we've seen in many years before that as well. Again, can't say exactly what disruption we'll see, because it is all relative to areas that these winds hit. But in sort of raw model data, raw numbers, this does look like one of the strongest storms we've seen in many, many years. And I said, expecting a red warning issued pretty much for much of this amber warning zone. Perhaps the amber warning could even get extended and this amber warning becomes a red warning. We will have to wait and see. But that's what I'm expecting at the moment. And as I said, we got a blanket yellow warning elsewhere, again, for the 60, 70 miles per hour. If we just have a look at the impact matrix for that, you can see it is just lesser impact, but still high likelihood. And you can see the warning for the east is lower impact, but higher likelihood. So yeah, we're fairly confident in stronger winds elsewhere. But again, it's 40, 50, up to 60, 70 in a few spots. So nothing too severe, but still gusty, still could cause some disruption. And then to Saturday, once the system clears, we've got another blanket wind warning here. This could be, again, adjusted, as it is still a bit too far away to say with any certainty. But you can see it's already very close to an amber warning, so that could be issued there for Saturday morning specifically as well. Now, do have a look at the model data now. This is what most people have been waiting for. What are the exact winds? Now, of course, a video we posted 2 days ago where I said the most extreme UKV run I've ever seen. Now, it's backed off slightly from that, but it is still exceptionally strong. That run was showing 120 mile per hour gusts. This latest UKV is showing around 100 to 110. So it's backed off slightly, but it's still one of the strongest UKV runs, perhaps even the second strongest I've ever seen. Now, run through the next sort of 24 hours, not too much going on, but then this heavy band of rain moves through tomorrow morning into the afternoon. Does clear, so could be some squally rain along it and a bit of snow, but it clears and nothing too much going on there. And then into Thursday night, that storm Eowyn arriving, initially very heavy rain and some snow, but yeah, not expecting anything too major initially through the morning, just heavy rain. It's when the centre of the low here moves across Northern Ireland into the Irish Sea. It's on this southern flank where we are expecting severe winds. Now, it doesn't look like a crazy system here. It's got a big hook, so yeah, it looks pretty intense, but this doesn't tell the full picture. Rainfall and cloud doesn't always tell the full picture. These showers will be streaming in off the North Atlantic. Exceptionally squally rain, heavy snow as well mixing with that, and you can just see these heavy thundery showers spiraling in. Just the intensity of this system, I can't emphasize this enough, before it slowly clears into Saturday, but it keeps us pretty cold with a bit of winteriness around, as we do see some pretty cold polar mountain air. And then into Monday we could see another severe low arriving. Look at this system impacting southern and eastern areas. This could be another named storm. I think that's a real possibility, but of course 4 or 5 days away, so we just need to keep a close eye on that one for now. If you look at the mean sea level pressure, look at the centre of the system, 934 millibars. That's as low, if not lower, than the run we saw on Tuesday, but isobars distribution is slightly different, so not quite as strong in terms of the winds. But again, I don't know what the exact record for lower pressure is across the UK. I think it is much lower than this. I think it's around 915 or so. And I know sort of overall worldwide it's just below 900. I think it's 880s, 890s maybe. Again, don't quote me on that. That's just from a bit of memory there. But again, those are associated with massive hurricanes. For the UK, though, I can't emphasise how deep this area of low pressure is. General mean sea level pressure, kind of between high pressure, low pressure, I'd say is around 1,000 to 1,010 millibars. We're 60 to 70 millibars below that. It's extreme. On the other end, if we were 60 to 70 millibars over that, we'd be at 1,070 area of high pressure, which would be extreme as well. So yeah, this is pretty ridiculous system. It clears through on Friday. And then again, keep an eye on that next system. Look at this, 962 millibars. Not quite as deep, but again, look at the tightness of those isobars. Could be extreme as well. As I said, cold polar maritime air will be pushing in from behind, so it is going to be very chilly through the rest of Friday and through much of the weekend. So yeah, not even going to be turning milder, so we haven't even got that to look forward to. If you do look at those temperatures quickly, again, Thursday, chilly day, mid-single digits for many. Classic kind of cold January day, but nothing too extreme. Potentially a frost into Friday morning, early hours, but then turns milder through in the afternoon. Mild wedge associated with Storm Eowyn, but then eventually clears, and then we see much colder air digging in from behind, and then for much of the weekend hovering around freezing or the low single digits. Could turn slightly milder there into Monday in the far south, but again, that's associated with that big storm system that, as I said, could provide even stronger conditions. So if we do look at Storm Eowyn now, you can see as we head into Friday, those strong winds start to approach from the west, 60, 70, 80 initially, and then look at those dark purples, 110, 120 appearing there off the coast of the Republic of Ireland. But because of its track, those winds are exceptionally strong out to sea, but soon it does slightly decrease. As I said, more down to 100 to 110. So not the extreme 120, but again, clutching at straws here, this is still an exceptional system, and look how far inland those winds go, 80 to 90 widely inland, potentially even above 100. And it's the size of the wind field. Look at it from Scotland all the way down to Northern England, much of the Republic of Ireland, perhaps even North Wales, and all of Northern Ireland. From the UK perspective, could be the hardest hit, but I think the west coast of the Republic of Ireland could be absolutely hammered. Again, it's more usual for these exceptionally strong winds for these areas, but by no means is this usual. The west coast of Ireland's a little bit more prepared for stronger winds. It's more of a routine event, but I'm saying 50, 60 mile per hour winds, not 120. So this is going to be a severe event. Wind gusts of this strength, you'd be looking at Cat 1, Cat 2 hurricanes. So we are looking at a severe system here. Again, don't like to compare to hurricanes because it is a completely different origin, but that's kind of a best way to explain it to some people. I can't emphasise how strong these winds do look. You can see it slowly weakens into Saturday morning, but not by much. Stays 80, 90 plus for much of Friday evening before eventually clearing. See further southwards, its strongest wind actually through Friday morning before eventually clears, and it really is a Northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland event from around Friday lunchtime onwards. Eventually that clears, things tidy up a little bit through the weekend, but still gusty around in the west. And then look at that system in the southeast. Wow, I did not expect to see 120 miles per hour across the channel. Again, we need to keep a close eye on this system. Again, the UKV is probably overhyping it slightly, but nonetheless, that would most likely be red warnings as well. So yeah, we need to really keep a close eye on this, and then not only the next few days, but the next week in general, as we could be seeing many back-to-back storms. And yeah, as I said, it could be very, very dangerous. And of course, this is just the UKV. But we've got cross-model consensus now. If we do look through Thursday, look at this system arriving. If you look at the bottom right of the screen, we've got our max. This is the max wind gusts on this screen, on this frame. Max wind gusts here, 198 kilometres per hour. Now, if you don't know how to convert kilometres per hour to miles per hour, you divide by 1.6. So 160 kilometres per hour is 100 miles per hour. So we are looking around 120 miles per hour here. And you can see that continues, perhaps even in excess of 200 kilometres per hour on its approach to the Republic of Ireland. And then look at that. Yes, dies down more towards the 160, 170 kilometres per hour, still in excess of 100 miles per hour, all the way through Friday. Very similar track, very similar intensity here from the Icon run. And my gosh, this is going to be, a really dangerous storm. I'm really surprised we're not seeing more about this in the media already, as people really should be preparing for this, as this, as I said, could wipe out some areas in terms of power. Trees could be down, and this is definitely one of those where you do not want to travel during Friday in these sorts of winds. So yeah, hopefully we see some sort of response tomorrow. Best we can do is talk about it on our videos. But yeah, hopefully this gets out to as many people as possible, because my gosh, this is going to be a historic system. It's ridiculous, these winds. Never seen these on these charts before. Of course, speculative runs. Tuesday, I didn't think it was going to be this intense. Yes, strongest UKV run I've ever thought. I thought it was going to downgrade to 80, 90 miles per hour, max winds that we do see at the top end of some of these storms. But 80 to 90 miles looks like it's going to be the stock wind within this system. The top end looks 100, 110, 120. I can't emphasise enough how severe this system will be. And then into Sunday and Monday, again, need to keep an eye on this next low in the far southwest. Again, no system in the southeast, so you can just see how the UKV is spinning something up there that the Icon doesn't. So again, another thing to keep an eye on. But once again here, on the western flank of this system, we've got 100 mile per hour winds again. Out to sea at the moment, but this could move inland in the subsequent hours. And then finally, if we do follow up with the Arpège run, this is the midday run, and very similar. Wow, look at that, 230 kilometres per hour. We are looking in excess of 120, 30, maybe even 40 miles per hour. Again, it's this core of winds here out to sea. Once it makes landfall, you can see it does go back to around 200 kilometres per hour. But nonetheless, an exceptionally strong system, and then potentially another named storm there through Sunday into Monday. So can't emphasise enough how severe the system will be. We'll have another update out tomorrow, but hopefully by tomorrow, a lot more people will be aware of this exceptionally severe storm arriving. Again, I'm expecting red warnings. Just have a look at this runs again. I'm pretty much 100% sure we'll see a red warning issued. This is the strongest storm I've ever seen from the runs, and we have seen probably about 3 or 4 red warnings over the past few years for wind. So yeah, I definitely think a red warning will be issued in this case. And all I can say is please be prepared if you are in the main bulk of the storm. If you're in more of these pinks and darker red colours, then it's going to be strong, but it's not going to be much more than a standard UK storm that we do see a few times a year. But if you are in these pinks, and especially the greys and blacks here, then yeah, you are looking at historic winds that could cause widespread, significant disruption through Friday. And as I said, it could be backed up by another storm later on the weekend and start of next week. So yeah, could be back-to-back systems. And yeah, can't emphasise enough how bad this does look. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you tell people if you've got family in the north not seeing this system coming. As I said, not seen much in the media. Of course, the weather forecast will be picking up on it, but that happens, every half an hour, and some people don't watch it. Please do take care. Please do sort of stay safe, and do keep an eye on the warnings. As I said, expecting a red warning to be issued around tomorrow morning, around the 10 or 11 a.m. mark, when the Met Office do update their warnings. And of course, I'll have an update out once again tomorrow evening. Fingers crossed the system does downgrade, but we are at the point now where even if this does downgrade, we're not expecting it, or it's very difficult, unless the model's got it completely wrong, for it to downgrade more than 5 or 10 miles per hour. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens, but at the moment, it does look like an historic storm, one for the memories, this Storm Eowyn. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.